Good morning. This is Luxembourg calling. Good morning. Got a question asked of me the other day on LinkedIn, I think it was, and it was why bother with having a mission and a vision and all this sort of thing for your business. And the answer I gave was really just it gives us focus and purpose and channels us to the right sort of activities. But a quick example, and this is where I sort of learned up in my career over the time. Back in the day, back a long time ago, I worked for Royal Ordnance in North London in Enfield, and we were not in the military, but sort of working for the military, making rockets and guns and cannon, all that sort of thing to support the British military. And being a manufacturing test centre, we get a lot of people coming down from Whitehall, from the Army and the Navy and the Air Force to have a look round, see what we got up to, talk about things, and discuss the weaponry and the design and build. And so one afternoon we had a squad come down from the barracks. It was a military army group, about I don't know, a dozen, maybe 15 soldiers, young soldiers. I was only 18 myself, so I was, we were all young. And they're sat in what was a parade ground outside of the main machine shop where I was working. And I was talking to I'm going to say, sergeant or their officer, their sergeant, let's say, I don't really know. And he was looking at things we were doing and organizing the tour around. And he looked out of the window of the machine shop and he saw this group of lads, and he hadn't given them anything to do. He just said, "No, wait there and don't touch anything." Of course, if you say that to a group of soldiers or anybody, basically, they were beginning to, a bit of horseplay. They were taking things apart, and it was beginning to get a bit in a fun way, but they were sort of doing things that squaddies and soldiers do. And so he said, "Give me a minute. I'm going to give these guys their mission, and then I'll be back." And so, okay, so off he went. He walked out to the parade ground. No shouting, no barking. They weren't in trouble. Two or three things happened that I noticed. One, he walked out onto the what was the this parade ground, and immediately they saw him. They stopped and they just stood up. They didn't go to attend. They just stood up. And he called them around him, and he was talking to them and pointing and this sort of thing. And about 5 minutes later, he came back in again. He said, "There we go. That's it. They're all sorted." I said to him, what did you ask him to do?" So I didn't ask them. He said, "I gave them a mission. And that's an order for them to go and do." So he wasn't asking. He was telling or ordering. That's the first thing. It's non-negotiable. So a mission is non-negotiable. It's what's got to happen, where you're going to be, where you're going to go. And all he asked them to do, ordered them to do, was to go around the quadrangle and around other parts of the factory and the car parks and pick up every piece of litter, plastic bags or whatever, every piece of litter they could find, and bring it back into the middle of the quadrangle into a big bag. And they had, I think it was like 45 minutes, be back with the bag, return here at whatever time, and off they went. And it was like, wow, these guys that were just like horse playing around and doing what young blokes do. Once they had a mission and they had it from authority and they knew what they got to do, they knew the time scale, they knew the purpose, they knew what they're going to do and how, what they're going to have to get up to. Off they went, and it was magical almost. They just boom, just dispersed in pairs, and they just picked up all the rubbish and they came back and they picked a lot of stuff up and put it into the car park. Very simple explanation. That's the difference between meandering around aimlessly doing stuff or having a mission to go and achieve in a certain time scale with a certain purpose and a certain goal, if you like. So that's the difference between having no mission in your business and having something purposeful. So what are you doing? When you're going to achieve it by? What is the real objective? Why are you in business in the first place? And it might be something as simple as picking up the rubbish in the car park, or it could be something obviously more beneficial to you, your stakeholders, and the community in general. So that's the power of mission. It stops us just wandering around aimlessly. I think they actually strung a bike up the flagpole as well, but that's just allegedly. So they were doing harmless but useless stuff. Focus on the mission, you get stuff done, timescale wise, you're active, you're focused, you're driven, you ignore everything else, you work to last order given, and away you go. That's the power of a mission. So, quick story from my days in Royal Ordnance. And just because I wasn't in the military. I wasn't in the military. I was actually a professional and technology officer. That was my official title. Officially a civil servant, I suppose it was, but it was Royal Ordnance was the organisation, and later purchased by British Aerospace, BA Systems. So there we go. Little story from my apprentice days back in North London. So get a mission, get on with it, set a time scale, focus your team, let them go, and they'll deliver great things for you. Anyway, updates from Luxembourg to come. Have a great day. See you all soon. Bye for now.